If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night with your feet feeling like they're on fire, or if you've felt that strange pins and needles sensation creeping up your toes while you're just sitting quietly reading a book, then what I'm about to share with you today could genuinely change the rest of your life. My name is Dr. Daniel Brooks, and over the years I've worked with hundreds of patients who came to me feeling helpless, feeling like their own feet had become strangers to them, numb in some spots, burning in others, and tingling in ways that made walking across a room feel like a small act of courage. And I want you to know something before we even begin. What you're experiencing is not just getting old. It is not something you simply have to accept and live with quietly for the rest of your days. There is a reason I want to tell you about a doctor in Japan, a woman who at over 100 years old was still seeing patients, still walking without a cane, and still had feet that carried her steadily through her clinic every single day. Her name was Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, and while many people know him as a man, there's a lesser-known story of a female colleague of his generation who quietly practiced a series of seated movements every single morning before her feet even touched the floor. These movements were not complicated. They required no expensive equipment, no gym membership, and no trip to a specialist. All she needed was a simple chair. And today, I'm going to walk you through the exact 4 movements that she and doctors like her have passed down through generations of Japanese medicine, movements designed specifically to wake up the nerves in your feet, improve the blood flow that so many of us lose as we age, and calm that maddening tingling and numbness that keeps you up at night. Before we get into the exercises themselves, I think it's important you understand what's actually happening inside your feet when you feel that numbness or that electric tingling sensation. Your feet contain some of the longest nerves in your entire body, stretching all the way from your lower spine down to the very tips of your toes. Because these nerves are so long, they are also the most vulnerable. When circulation slows down, even just a little, these nerves are often the first to suffer, and that is why so many people first notice neuropathy in their feet before anywhere else. Poor circulation, sitting for long periods, high blood sugar, certain medications, and simply decades of wear and tear can all starve these nerves of the oxygen and nutrients they desperately need to function properly. And when that happens, your brain starts receiving confused signals. Sometimes it feels like numbness, like your foot has fallen asleep and just won't wake up. Other times it feels like tingling, like tiny needles dancing across your skin. And for some people, it becomes a burning, stinging sensation that can make even the softest blanket feel unbearable against their skin at night. The good news, and I mean this with my whole heart, is that movement, specific, gentle, targeted movement, is one of the most powerful tools we have to restore circulation to these nerves and calm this chaos down. And that is exactly why these 4-chair exercises are so remarkable. The first exercise is what I like to call the toe wake-up call. While seated comfortably in your chair, place both feet flat on the floor. Now, keeping your heels planted firmly on the ground, lift just your toes as high as you can, spreading them apart if you're able to, and hold that position for a slow count of 3. Then release and let your toes relax back down. Repeat this 10 to 15 times. What this simple movement does is activate the small intrinsic muscles in your feet that most of us never consciously use anymore. These muscles act like a pump, pushing blood back up through your feet and lower legs, and that increased circulation is exactly what those starving nerves have been waiting for. The second exercise takes this a step further, and I call it the ankle circle ritual. Lift one foot slightly off the ground, just an inch or 2 is plenty, and begin rotating your ankle in slow, deliberate circles, first clockwise 10 times, then counterclockwise 10 times. Switch to the other foot and repeat. This movement does something wonderful for the nerves that run through your ankle joint. It gently stretches and mobilizes the tissue surrounding those nerves, which can become stiff and compressed from years of sitting or standing on hard floors. Many of my patients tell me that after just a week of doing this daily, they notice their ankles feel looser, and that tingling sensation that used to hit them out of nowhere starts to fade into the background. The third exercise is one that surprises people because of how effective it is despite how simple it looks, and I call it the heel-to-toe rock. Sit tall in your chair with both feet flat on the floor. Slowly rock your weight forward onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels off the ground, then rock backward, lifting your toes and balancing on your heels. Go back and forth slowly, like a gentle wave, for about 1 full minute. This rocking motion creates a rhythmic pumping action throughout the entire foot and calf, encouraging blood to flow through the smallest capillaries where numbness so often begins. It also helps train your balance and proprioception, which is your body's sense of where your feet are in space, something that often deteriorates quietly alongside neuropathy without us even realizing it. And finally, the fourth exercise, which I consider the crown jewel of this routine, is the seated marching stretch. While sitting in your chair, lift one knee up toward your chest as high as comfortably possible, then flex your foot so your toes point up toward the ceiling, and hold this position for 5 full seconds before lowering it back down and switching legs. Do this 10 times on each side. This movement engages the entire nerve pathway running from your lower back all the way down through your foot, gently stretching and stimulating it along its entire length. Because so much of foot neuropathy actually originates from nerve compression higher up in the leg or spine, this exercise addresses the problem at its root rather than just treating the symptom at the surface. Now here's what I want you to understand about why this Japanese approach has stood the test of time for so many decades. It's not about intensity. It's not about pushing yourself until you're sweating and exhausted. It's about consistency, gentleness, and doing these small movements every single day, ideally first thing in the morning before you even stand up, and again in the evening while you're relaxing and watching television. The doctors who practiced this way, who lived past 100 with steady, capable feet, understood something that modern medicine is only now catching up to, which is that our bodies crave regular, gentle movement far more than they crave occasional intense exercise. If you commit to these 4 exercises, just 10 to 15 minutes total each day, sitting comfortably in your own chair in the comfort of your own home, I genuinely believe you will start to notice a difference within the first 2 to 3 weeks. Less tingling when you lie down at night, less of that frustrating numbness when you first stand up in the morning, and a little more confidence in every single step you take. If this video helped you, if it gave you even a small spark of hope that your feet don't have to feel this way forever, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, because I share videos just like this every single week, all designed to help you feel stronger, steadier, and more like yourself again. Take care of those feet of yours. They've carried you this far, and with a little daily care, they'll carry you a whole lot further.